All right. Greetings, everyone. So this is another video interview that I'm doing for my 2-week series. And right here, I have this wonderful lady and friend of mine, Yhennifer Mendes. She is here to share her amazing story, how she has started from almost rock bottom to where she is now. She is a mom of 6 kids. Can you imagine that? I cannot imagine being a mom with so many kids and at the same time, trying to balance the whole mom life, wife life, and also trying to start a business. I don't know how she does it. I still try and wrap my hands around it. She might share some of her tips here today. You don't know. Might help you out there, busy moms, busy kids out there. So without further ado, Yhennifer, I'm giving you the floor. Tell the audience who you are and your story from where you went to now being, they'll know what
Yeah.
you
So
do
where
right
do I
now.
start? Like my background? Maybe I should share a little bit of my background before I
Yeah,
got into the whole online space.
yeah.
So, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. It's an honor to be chatting with you. I'm super proud of everything that you're doing as well, moving forward and making changes for progress and progressing. And that's what it's all about because people have I guess different definitions of what success is, but at the end of the day it doesn't matter what the goal is as long as you're moving forward and you're progressing. Is momentum. We're momentum beings, all right? So I see you and I see that. I see momentum moving forward, progressing. So I'm excited for you. But thank you for having me. I guess a little bit of my background before I got into the online space. I went to school. I did the whole, I go to college, do the 9 to 5 thing. I had 3 children by the time I finished college. So um, I, I've been on the online space for almost 6 years now. So right before that, I was a single mom of 3. So I finished school. I moved to a brand new state. I'm originally from New York City. I moved to Florida. I landed a job here in Florida when I
Yeah.
first got here. I was a single mom in a brand new state. I kind of came over here to kind of just start a brand new life without knowing anyone.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, it was crazy, but I just took a leap of faith and I was like, you know what, I just need something new. I wanted to give my kids a better future as well. Like better area where we live, because I came from the hood. Okay, I came from the hood of the
Oh,
Bronx. From the Bronx, and I don't want my kids to grow up, in the Bronx. Like literally, I mean, I love the Bronx. I mean, you never. I have a little frame here that says, "Don't forget where you came from, but never lose sight of where you're going." So
wow.
I never forget where I came from. And I still have friends from back home, from back in the days, but I knew that I didn't want my kids to grow up either in poverty and also seeing violence, because there's always a lot of violence in the street. And I grew up poor. Like, I didn't grow up in nice neighborhoods, and there are some nice neighborhoods in the Bronx, but
Yeah.
not where I was from. So we moved here to give them a better life. I landed that job, and like a year later, I got laid off of the job that I thought was like the perfect job, where I landed in this company where I thought that I was gonna like climb up the corporate ladder. Everything was like super amazing until like I got laid off, right? And I was like, now what am I gonna do? Like, I'm in a brand new state. I got laid off from my job. It was 3 weeks before Christmas, and I got these 3 kids, here by myself. Like, what am I gonna do? So I fell into like really deep depression. I was so sad. I would barely eat. I was crying myself to sleep. I was applying for work like a maniac. I was applying everywhere. I wasn't getting nobody to call me back. Around that time, I visited a church, and I guess out of my brokenness, right? Like, just looking for hope and I don't know, positivity and
Something.
community. Yeah, hope, something. I was here by myself, right? So I got invited to this church, and this girl, it's crazy because like that weekend they were talking about like this God encounter retreat, and I just went to a God encounter like a month ago. So that was almost 5 years ago. I visited this church, and they was talking about this event where you like go away for 3 days, and it's like a retreat for women. And I remember just crying there, and I was like, wow, like, I wish I could go to this retreat, but I can't afford it. Like, you have to pay to go. And I had just lost my job, and all that was going on.
Yeah.
And I just closed my eyes. I remember, and I was praying. I was like, God, like I really want to go to this retreat. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't even have like another paycheck. Like, I was on my last paycheck that week. And it's crazy because a girl tapped me in the shoulder right before I walked out the church. And she was like, hey, I know that you don't know me, but God told me to sponsor you and pay for your ticket to this encounter. And I think I haven't really shared this online much because I always talk about like I met, somebody that showed me the online space through church, but I never shared that part that, I don't know. I just thought about it of, how it just happened. And I was like, wow, God, like you're really real. Like you like listen to my prayer. Like
God is real.
I was so broken and hurt and depressed. I had just broken up with my kid's father, lost a job, Christmas around the corner. I didn't know how I was going to pay rent the next month. Like I was just so broken.
Yeah.
And God was like, hey, that girl tapped me in my shoulder and she was like, I don't know you, but God told me to pay for your ticket to go to this encounter. So I just started bawling, crying, and she took me to the reception area. She paid for my ticket. It was like $140, something like that. And she paid for it. And I asked a neighbor that I met in my new neighborhood if she could watch my kids while I go to this retreat. And she said, yeah. And I was like, wow, like God is just making a way for me to be at this retreat, right? So I go there, and it was an amazing time. I got closer to God. I let go of a lot of unforgiveness and things that I had from like the past that I didn't even know that I had, and I got closer to God. And then the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when they put you in the retreat, they put you with 2 other people. So it's 3 people in a room, in a hotel room. So it's like 2 beds and then like the sofa. And you don't know who these people are. They like put you with roommates. And the girl, one of the roommates that were there, she was working online full time. And she was the one that told me about this whole making money online thing. Like she was the first person that told me about it. And after that retreat, we met for coffee. I remember that, we spoke on the phone, and she was like, hey, I want to talk to you about what I do. You told me that, you had just lost your job. I've been working online for 3 years already. This is what I do. And it was through network marketing. It was through a health and wellness company. She used to sell like stuff to lose weight and stuff like that. And I didn't really even know what network marketing was. I didn't even know what making money online was. I never did that before. And when she told me, she was like, let's meet for coffee. I was like, listen, girl, I can't even afford coffee. Like I can't even go. I told her that because I was still not working. And she was like, so let's meet in McDonald's so that I can buy the kids some food. And, while they're playing in like the play area, me and you could talk. So she offered to buy me and my kids food so that we could be able to talk.
Blessings.
And I was like, it was just like so ordained, right? Like God was just like putting all the pieces together, and it was meant for me to like chat with her because, through that, she was like, well, you do have to pay to get started or whatever, because every opportunity costs money to get started. And she was like, just try to figure it out. How do you get involved? So it was $120, something like that, to get started and like to become a distributor in that company. And I borrowed the money and I got in. It's so funny because I did the same thing with Black Ops. So I borrowed the money and I got in without knowing. But I was like, man, if I can make money, my son was only 1 year. He wasn't even 1. I think it was like 10 months old. So if I can make money without having to like take him to a babysitter, right? And I can like keep the money that I make, I could like get out of the situation that I was at. So that's all I was thinking about. Like, how can I make money like right now without having to take my kids to a babysitter? Let me just learn whatever it is that she got. And I started learning that world. And within 3 months, I made full-time income, through that network marketing opportunity. I actually, when I left that company, I was in 3 months, I made it to 2 ranks away from the top of the company. And people were like, wow, how the heck did you do that? Like, you've never done network marketing before. You didn't even know nobody in Florida. I used to do a lot of home parties. So I used to go meet people in the mall and I used to talk to them about my opportunity. And I used to try to get them to set a party. Yeah, I wasn't even really using like the online space like that. I was just, my online space looked super spammy. That's like how most people are that don't know about real marketing skills. That was me. Like I used to spam people, I used to harass people, but I think that people bought from me. It wasn't because of the products. It was because they knew my story. Like I was a single mom. They knew that I was just trying to make it. And they was just supporting me because of my story. Not because they really wanted to lose weight, not because the potions and lotions worked or whatever. It was because I used to tell them, like, I'm a single mom and, I'm just trying to make it for my kids. And, I was just so vulnerable and so honest with it. And I think that's why people kept buying from me, right? So through the opportunity, I learned about personal development. I didn't even know what personal development was. I used to hate reading. I never, like in school, I used to read because I had to, not because I wanted to, and I wanted to like grow my mind, right? So I learned about personal development and about, having positive mindset. And I learned how to like dream, dream big. And, it was like my mind went from like this to like this. And I was like, wow, there's more to life, I started meeting positive people because everybody's like so encouraging in the network marketing space. And through that journey, that's how I met Jose. Jose was actually part of the same network marketing company that I was in, but he owned the brick and mortar business. Like he owned the barber shop, and he used to sell, like, one of the products in that health and wellness line was a product that helped you grow your hair. So it was like a hair product, like it was called Hair, Skin, and Nails. So it will help you with your skin, with your nails, and with your hair. So, and he started selling those products because a lot of his clients were going bald. So he used to sell them as like an extra, like an add-on to like his haircut service. So it worked really well for him. So he wasn't on my team. I wasn't on his team or anything like that. We didn't even work together. I met him through a Facebook group that we were all in, and we were just chatting about the company. And then we started talking, and when we met online, like the first day that we talked online, we got on the phone. I remember we got on the phone, and we have never stopped talking ever again. And that was 4 years ago. Wow. So yeah, in in March, we make 4 years. So it's been like 3 years and 8 months, something like that we've been together. So it's crazy because, we tell people our story and how we met. They're like, you guys are crazy. How you guys just met online? But it was just insane. So we were talking like every day, and I was still trying to grow my network marketing company and continue to sell my products. He was in his business with the barbershop. And then like 30 days later, something like that, I remember calling him and I was like, listen, we've been talking every day, all day long, 24/7. I don't do this long distance relationship thing. Like, that's not me. I don't know about all this.
It has to be real.
Yeah, I was like, if this is real, you're going to come down to Florida, you're going to come and you're going to meet me. And he was like, all right, we'll plan something out. And I was like, yeah, I just bought your flight. You're leaving tomorrow. He was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like tomorrow, 5 o'clock, make sure you find somebody to close the shop so that you can come and meet me. And he was like, you are crazy. Like, he was like, you're crazy. I was like, I know I am crazy, but I can't like wait any longer. It's been like a month and a half, something like that. And we were talking like every day nonstop, in the morning and the midday and the afternoon. And it was just, it was such a good connection that I needed to know, like, if this was going to be the same in person. Like, I just couldn't wait, So he closed he figured out how, who was going to run the shop. He closed the shop. He came down the next day. And it was like love at first sight. I just knew. Yeah, I just knew. And I remember that day when I picked him up from the airport, like we like locked in, eyes, and we looked at each other. He was like right in my face. And I was like, yeah, like this is real. You know what I mean? This is for real. And we said, this is what we said. We said, we're going to make $1 million together. That was like our bet. We made a bet. So we said, we're going to make $1 million together. The worst thing that could happen is that we fall in love in the process, right? Like, that's what he said. And that's exactly what happened. Like, we fell in love in the process, and he came down here, and it's crazy because that week, my son got really sick. My 1-year-old at the time, he ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks with pneumonia. Like, literally the next day that Jose was here, we were in the hospital. And Jose stood with me every single day in the hospital throughout that whole transition. So not only I knew that it was real, not only, I knew that he was an entrepreneur, because I always said, after I started network marketing, I said, whoever else I get with, they have to like have the entrepreneur mindset. They have to have goals. They have to be ambitious. I don't want to be with somebody that's just a normal 9-to-5er, because I went through that. Right. And and my mind had already changed when I started practicing personal development. I knew I wanted more. And whoever I was going to partner with in life had to want more too. So it was crazy how I just kind of like called him into existence, because that's exactly what happened. So not only was he an entrepreneur, he was practicing personal development for over 10 years, longer than me. So his mindset was already more expanded as far as like, dreaming and working on himself and becoming a better version of himself every day. So not only that, on top of that, he showed me his heart by being there every single day without really knowing me. He had just met me in person the day before, and he slept in the hospital with me until my son came out the hospital. He ended up changing his flight and leaving later on so that he could stay with us throughout that whole thing. So fast forward, my son came out the hospital. It was time for him to go back to New York. Within 30 days, he sold his business and moved to Florida.
Wow.
That was the whole thing. And we partnered up. And then, he moved down here. So it was like, a new journey for us. I was still working the network marketing business. He was working the network marketing business too, but he wasn't as far up like the compensation plan as I was, because I was doing it longer. I was already in for 3 years at that point. And he had maybe a few months. So, and his clients were actually the people that were cutting his hair. So since he closed the barbershop, that his income from the network marketing kind of like, crumbled. And then we were like, okay, let's focus on my team and let's keep growing our team and keep growing that, because we're almost at the top of the company. So we were like, yeah, let's do this. We're all in. We're 100%. We were like sold on the dream of, getting to the top of this company. I was like super brainwashed on this one company. So that only lasted maybe like 5 months. Like 5 months later, my team started falling apart. I was bringing a lot of people in, but a lot of people were dropping out. My team wasn't duplicating. It was like I ran out of people to harass. Like I didn't have no more friends to harass. And, because I didn't know real marketing skills at that time. It was just like, word of mouth, walking up to people. Every friend that I knew from New York, I was like harassing them for them to buy from me. And I literally ran out of people. And I was like, man, like I went from making like $8,000 a month to like, within 4 months, I went from $8,000 to like $500 a month. Like that's a big jump. Okay. And then I have, my kids. I have 3 kids. I have a new relationship. Jose sold the business. So, he wasn't doing another business here. We were working on network marketing together. Around that time, he was fighting for custody of his 2 kids. They moved down here. We ended up getting custody of his kids during that whole transition. So now we got 5 kids in the house, me and him, a new relationship, income just going down and down and down. And we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So around that time, Jose, I have my best friend, her name is Sandra, and I met her through the network marketing business. She's my sister in personal development, I call her. And she has saw a webinar from one of our, our millionaire mentor. And she was like, oh, Yhennifer, you got to watch this. I think this will be really good for us. And she was experiencing the same pains that I was experiencing. Her team was falling apart and we couldn't keep up. Like we were enrolling people, but people were just falling. And it was just insane. It was chaos. Like we wasn't even sleeping because we was like glued to our phone 24/7 trying to like, sign people up. It was just a hot mess express. And then what I told her was, I was like, you crazy? Like, who's trying to brainwash you? That's what I told her. I was like, who's trying to brainwash you? She was like, no, you got to watch this. I was like, I ain't watching nothing. I'm going to focus on enrolling more people. Like, that was like what I was saying in my head, right? Yeah, I'm like, one thing, and I'm just going to do this, and that's it. I was like so narrow-minded because I didn't know any better, I thought that opportunity was the only way out, and that's what it was supposed to be. So her husband was friends with Jose, and they met through the same, opportunity. And he showed Jose the webinar of our mentor talking about millionaire mentoring and investing in yourself and, marketing skills and all these things. And then Jose comes to me. He's like, hey, I really think that you should watch the webinar that Sandra's talking about. And I was like, no, are you crazy? They trying to brainwash you too? Like I was telling him, I got mad. I was so angry. And Jose was like, whatever, I'm not going to bring it up to you again. So he watched the webinar like 3 times, like while I was sleeping. Like he would wait for me to go to sleep and then he would watch it. He's taking notes because, our mentor gives like a lot of value, even in his webinars that are, to buy the program, but he's still giving value up front. So he was like taking notes. And then you know, like a week later, he comes back. He's like, babe, you know, I think we really need this. Like, I have a feeling like either this guy knows what he's talking about or he is a good actor. Like he's a good actor. And I was like, nah, I don't know. And I was like, how much does that cost? And he was like, you know, it was $1,500 at that time. And I was like, are you crazy? We don't even have money for the rent next month. Are you insane? He was like, well, I'm going to borrow the money. I was like, whatever. So he went and borrowed the money, kind of like behind my back. And that's how we started in Millionaire Mentoring. And, you know, I remember like 2 days later after we got into the program, Darren was hosting like a live millionaire mentoring session where like all the students get on. And he was like, well, you're not going to get on? And I was like, well, you know what? You already paid for it, right? I might as well get on. But I had like an attitude. And I was like, I was like, whatever, I might as well get on, right? It's already paid for. Let's see what the heck this millionaire mentoring crap is about, right? So I grabbed the pen and paper, and that mentoring session was like 3 hours long, girl. And I remember like that day, I took like 7 pages of notes, and I was like, where has this been all my life, right? I was like, where has this been? I've been living in the shoebox. Like, how come I didn't know how to build a list? I didn't know about, you know, collecting emails. I didn't know about, you know, becoming the attractive factor. I didn't know about not harassing my friends and family. Like, how come I didn't know all this stuff? Like, why, you know, they never taught me this in the network marketing company? Like, how can there be millionaires in the network marketing space and like they don't teach this stuff? Like, I don't understand. Like, it was just so mind-blowing to me. And I remember when we got off the call, we called Sandra and Lewis, and we got on a Zoom, and that was our first time we were on a call, and that was their first time on a millionaire mentoring call, because they had just started like a week before us. Because when they showed us the webinar, they were still thinking about getting started. So we got on a call, all 4 of us, and we were like screaming on the call, oh my God, did you remember? Like, did you see that? And oh my God, did you see what he said? Like, we were so excited, like 4 little kids that just got a whole bunch of candy, okay? Because it was like what we needed to get ahead, you know? And we were like, this is going to change our lives. This is going to be amazing. Like, we're really going to become millionaires now. And that was how we started our journey. I remember, you know, we were still behind, right? We didn't know how we were going to pay the rent. And I was like, I'm going to do everything he says. He told us on the webinar. And I started posting on Instagram. And this guy, I started posting about like with curiosity, you know, so, you know, that was one of the main things that we learned in the beginning was, you know, to don't put your stuff out there, like put things to pique curiosity, to then get people to message you. And that's part of becoming the attractive factor, right? Putting value out there and just throwing little things here and there without giving them it was pieces of the cookie without giving the whole cookie. I remember Darren told us that. And I posted something on Instagram, and a guy messaged me, a random guy who was like, hey, you know, I saw that you posted something about mentorship and, you know, growing yourself and making money online, something like that. I posted something like that, but I didn't say what it was. And Jose was like, just get on a call. Let's get on a call with him. So we followed the formula that Darren was teaching us, but we went straight for like a call. Like, we got on a Zoom like this, on a video Zoom. We didn't go back and forth in the messenger, 100 messages. Like, we got on a call. We knew, straight up, like that next day. The guy messaged us that night. The next day we had already set up a time to talk. We got on a Zoom without even us really knowing we hadn't even gone through all the training. Like, it was just the next day from when we signed up. And I remember the guy was like, well, I'm looking for, you know, guidance and mentorship. I know that there's a way to make money online. And we were like, well, you know, we just got in this program. Like, we just got in this program. You can watch this webinar, and we feel like this would be the perfect thing for you. He saw the webinar and he signed up that same day. And we made our first $1,000 in 24 hours. And I was like, oh, this is real. Oh my gosh, this is real. Like, I could not believe it. Like, I have made money online before. Again, I told you I made, you know, almost $8,000 a month in network marketing. So $1,000 was nothing compared to what I had already made. But I've never made that amount of money with one sale. Okay. Because for me to make $1,000 in a network marketing company, I had to sell maybe 1,000 products. Okay. So, you know what I mean? Because they pay you a little percent of whatever the product is. It's not like, you know, thousands of dollars for one sale. Yep. So, you know, this was a high ticket program. Anything over $1,000 is considered high ticket in the online space. So this was my first eye-opening experience with high ticket, and we made our first $1,000 the same freaking day. It was like, I remember calling Sandra. I was like, "You're not gonna believe it. Like, the guy just signed up. The first guy I talked to, like, he signed up." And she was like, "That's crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And she was my sponsor. So, we made the money back so that we could pay the the loan that we took to pay to get in. Okay. So now we're like break even point, right? So I was like, wow, this is amazing. So then we just started following, and we just was super coachable. Like, since we seen that first $1,000 and we knew that it was possible, it was like, I know that this guy is for real. I know that what he's saying is true. I know that if I just stay coachable, if I just follow what he teaches, I'm going to get out of this hole. And that's kind of how it was. So we kept learning and going through the trainings. And I think like 3 weeks later, we made like another $1,000. So it wasn't enough to the point where of what we needed, because we have fallen so far behind. So every time we made $1,000, it's like, oh my God, we got to pay the water. Oh my God, we got to pay this. Oh my God, so it was like robbing Peter to pay Paul the first like few months while we were still trying to learn and trying to figure it out. And then I remember like the holidays came, and we were still robbing Peter. Like, we made a sale here, and then we'd pay, buy a few gifts and, make a sale and pay this. But we were still, when we got into the Millionaire Mentoring Program, we were almost 3 months behind in rent. So we were like catching up, right? Plus paying the actual living expenses and food or whatever. So it was still not enough. So I remember the holidays passed around January. The landlord was like, listen, I cannot wait any longer. Like, you're already, when we started, we were 3 months behind. So we were already at that point 1 month behind. So we were paying her little by little. Every time we made a sale, we sent her a little bit of money. So we were like 1 month behind. She was like, I need the money like now. Like, I cannot like wait any longer. So she came to my house and she served us with an eviction notice. So, over here in the state of Florida, when they serve you with an eviction notice, you got 3 days to pay, or they take you to court and then you're out. Where I came from in New York, if they serve you with an eviction notice, you could fight for like a month or two in court, and you still got like a month or two. Over here in Florida, it's not like that. Like, you got 3 days, and 3 days your ass is going to court, and that's it. You're out of here. So I remember when I got that paper, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like I'm like trying to climb out the water, I'm like barely climbing out of the water, trying to breathe. And now she serves me with this thing. And I know because my mentor always told us that our emotions and our thoughts control our outcome. And I kept trying to stay positive throughout that whole, stressful situation. I was like, my thoughts, I can't allow, my thoughts to take over, because if I allow my thoughts to take over, like, I'm not going to be able to make the money, right? Like, I'm just going to keep pushing the money away. And our mentor always said that. So I remember the day that the landlord came, I messaged Darren. And mind you, at that point, he didn't know who I was. I was just one of the students in his group. He was not my sponsor. My sponsor was Sandra. Somebody else brought Sandra in. So it wasn't even like Darren was Sandra's sponsor either. So he didn't know who I was. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, I know you don't know who I am, but I have the situation. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I sent him this long message, and maybe I should go back and screenshot it and share it with you guys so that you guys can see how stressful. And I was still getting out of that victimhood mentality, because I was still like, believing, but still in victimhood mode, believing. Like, I was like in between when I sent that message. And I told him, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm just messaging you because, is there anything else that you can tell me that I could do to like make money right now in the next 72 hours? Or, me and my family are going to be homeless. And I remember that he called my phone, and he didn't even respond to my message. He called on Messenger on Facebook. And I remember telling Jose, and I was like, babe, he's calling. Darren is calling. Like, if he was like an alien or something. And he was like, well, pick up the phone. I was like, what do I do? He's like, pick up. And I ran to my desk, and I grabbed the notebook, and because I knew he was going to like tell me something, right? I thought he was going to give me that secret formula or that secret thing to make me, money in the next 72 hours, right? So I locked myself with Jose, and Darren, the first thing that Darren said was like, also, hey, so I know you're part of the program. So how much money do you need to make So I told him that we needed to make, I think it was like 2,000 something, whatever. And he was like, okay, so write that number down. So I write the number down. And then he was like, now, I need you to do exactly what I tell you for the next 10 days. But, it's up to you to be coachable. So either you're coachable and you're going to follow what I teach you, or you're going to be homeless. Like straight up, like super cold hearted. I was like, this asshole. Like, that's what I thought in my head. I was like, what? Like, you're talking to me like that? I'm over here crying, all freaking stressed out. And he's like, well, it's up to you. I'm just going to tell you how it is. So it's up to you whether you listen or not. You're going to do X, Y, Z, or you're going to be homeless. So what's it going to be, Yhennifer? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, right? Like in my head, I'm like, whatever you say. So he's going, and, he was giving us advice of the things that were in the training. So it wasn't like it was nothing new. It wasn't like he was giving me something special. It wasn't like, how many people have messaged me asking me, what was it that Darren told you that day? He went through the whole training in a whole hour, the same thing. What to post on my wall, how not to let my thoughts and my emotions get the best of me. He told me to do mirror work. He told me to make sure I say my affirmations in the morning, make sure that I keep my mind, like everything, 80% of all the things was my mind and controlling my thoughts and my emotions, and to be strong and to believe that if I know that I have an opportunity that could really help people, that I have to believe and just take action. And he was like, 25 connections a day will make all your bill collectors go away. So he told us to connect with at least 25 people a day. I connected with like 100 people a day in those next 3-4 days. Okay. I like quadruple what he told me to do. Like I was barely sleeping. Okay. Because I was in a position where my back was against the wall. Like I've never in my life been served an eviction notice. I mean, as a parent, you feel like the parents are the ones that are supposed to make sure that your kids are safe, that your kids have food, that your kids have everything they need. So I was in a really tough situation that I've never been through in my life. On top of that, I'm in a new relationship. Jose feels like shit because he's like, I'm the man. I'm supposed to be the provider. This whole family is falling apart. So his whole ego and everything is like in the floor, right? Like smashed because he feels like poop. And it's like, what do we do? Like we were, I remember like we prayed so hard. It was like, God, just give us the energy to stay up and not go to sleep so that we could connect with as many people as possible so that we could get out the situation. I know what we have is good. I know that we can help people. We just got to reach more people, talk to more people. And that's exactly what we did. And I remember the next day our water got cut off and I was like, okay, now this is, it's getting worse, right? In my head, I'm like, no, this is getting worse. Like, I remember buying, like, I had like $10 in my pocket and I went and bought like 5 gallons of water so that I could bathe the kids with gallons of water, okay? Because we didn't have the money to pay for the water. And it was just insane. It was insane. Like, I've never been through something like that. I was like, I'm still fighting through that, right? Like my flesh is telling me what I see here, right? And then my mind is like, no, I know I can do this. Darren, I know I believe him. I trust him. Like he's helped so many people. I know I can do this. I am no different than nobody else. I'm not different than him. There's nothing special. You just got to go and take action. So we did that. And then I remember, Darren said, within 10 days, you should be able to get out of this situation. And I remember like on day 9, Jose was already feeling like poop because we had not made anything. And Jose was like, yo, tomorrow is like day 10. Like, and we still haven't made no money. We were begging the landlord not to take us to court, even though we already had the 3-day notice. We were like, listen, just give me one more day. Every day I was like, give me one more day. Like I would text her, give me one more day, because I knew I was just so close of like making a sale and paying off this lady. So she was like, all right, Yhennifer, just let me know, I'm trying to work with you, whatever. And I was like, just one more day. And on the 10th day, girl, we made the 10th day, we made like 4 sales. We made like $3,400, something like that. It was like 3 sales or something like that. And I was like, I could finally breathe again. Like I paid the water and I paid the rent, right? Like those were the main 2 things that we had to like get out the way. And I was like, man, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, this training. I was like so grateful. My heart was just so full of gratitude. And I was like, you know what? Like, we're just going to keep going, because even though we just paid off just to keep us afloat. Like, we still need money to live, right? We still need to like move forward and survive, and we're all these kids. So we kept going, and all, you know, I would say like my tip, because you were like, oh, maybe you throw some tips here. Like, my tip out of like everything that I did throughout that whole journey was I connected with people on video, like this, on Zoom. Like, my goal was to talk to them on Messenger, bring them on Zoom, bring them on Zoom, bring them on Zoom, because I knew that I could talk to people. I could show them that I'm real. I could show them that, you know, I'm not just behind the keyboard. I could read their body language. Like, I knew within the first 5 minutes if that person was going to sign up with me or not. You know, like, we got so good at reading people that we already knew. And we followed the strategies that Darren gave us in the training. And instead of doing the strategies on the Messenger, we just took it to the video. And that just speed up the process. Like, that just speeded up the process. I didn't have to be talking to people for days and days and days and days. You know what I mean? It was just like, you're going to watch this video. If this is something that's going to help you, if you feel like this is going to bring you value, either you in or you out. If not, next. And we will keep going. If not, next. And we will keep going. And that's what we did. And that was like the major tip out of like everything, like getting people on video. And then, you know, within a couple of weeks, we made like $20,000. I remember that, you know, that whole thing started in January when we called Darren, and in April, the first week of April, Jose was due to be in his best friend's wedding in St. Thomas. And, you know, we had made the 20 grand and we were able to buy the flights. And, you know, Jose was in the wedding and he was the best man. And we didn't know we were going to be there. Okay. Like, weeks before. So we literally bought the flights, the outfit, because he had to get like a custom made suit. And we had to ship it here express, literally like the week before the wedding, like the week before. Like, we were like this close because we didn't have the money, you know, and we kept telling him, yeah, we're going to be there. We're going to be there. We had no idea whether we were going to be there or not. But since we kept going and we kept going, we kept making money, and we were like, we're going to be there, and we're going to be there. We're going to be there. A week before, we bought everything, we left. I remember when we got to, we had to make a connection stop in Puerto Rico. So it was like from Florida to Puerto Rico and then St. Thomas. When we got to Puerto Rico, we made another $1,000 while we were at the airport. We made a sale. And I was like, this is the life. I was like, this is the laptop lifestyle, right? Like, traveling and making money. And I was like, this is amazing. So, and, you know, we didn't look back. Like, you know, we just kept going, and we have not looked back ever since. And that was 3 years ago. Okay. Because, you know, that whole thing started right when me and Jose got together, and we're going to have 4 years in March. So that was 3 years ago. We've been involved in Millionaire Mentoring, and we still make money with Millionaire Mentoring. Like, you know, I don't even promote it out there as much because, you know, through that journey, I learned so many skills and connected with so many people that now, you know, I work with the social media team over at ClickFunnels. I am the community manager with Jay Shetty. So, you know, Darren was the one that taught me what the hell was ClickFunnels. I didn't even know what a funnel was. I didn't know what was building a list, because you use the funnel to build your list, you know. So through me learning all the strategies with Darren, I connected with people in ClickFunnels, and now, you know, I'm part of their team. So I ended up, Jose and I ended up starting a marketing agency where we do advertising for small businesses. And then, you know, I went to the ClickFunnels, we went to the ClickFunnels Funnel Hacking Live event, which is coming up soon. I'm so excited about that. Hopefully you could be there. And
I want to go to it.
Okay? Because it's going to be amazing, because that event changed my life. Okay? So I went to that event, and that's where the whole idea came about starting the marketing agency, because of everything we did for us online with no paid ads. We were like, oh man, we could do this for other businesses. Like, we could do this for other people. Like, we took the skills that Darren gave us and kind of like put it into the agency world. And we started learning about traffic and ads and continue to invest in ourselves. I guess that's my second tip. I never stop investing into myself. Like, literally this July, you know, I went to a marketing retreat. It cost me $4,000 for 3 days. Okay. $4,000 for 3 days at a marketing retreat here at Disney, and it was in the Disney Resort area. And, you know, I still learn. I'm still investing into myself. Like, when we make money, we're like, okay, you know we got to invest into ourselves. Where's the next event? Where's the next book? Where's the next, you know, training that we could get? Because what happens is, the better you become and the more skills you learn, the more skills you bring to the marketplace. So the more money you could charge. the more money you're going to make if you have more skills. You become more valuable. And that's kind of how that whole thing happened with ClickFunnels, and now I'm part of their team. And, you know, even though I'm not in the network marketing world, or I'm not actively promoting any programs or anything like that, affiliate marketing is always in my back pocket. Okay. Like I always have, you know, things in my back pocket that if people talk to me about issues or things that they want to learn, or, you know, any problems that they have with their business, I got things to offer them, because I'm affiliated to a whole bunch of different things that at the end of the day helps people. Right? As long as you know that your product is valuable, that helps people, that is ethical, you know, that's, I guess, my third tip. You know, make sure that you get affiliated to things that are ethical, that are good for people, that they're not just, you're not just going to sell it to make money, but you're selling it because it's really going to help people. Then go for it. You know what I mean? So we still do affiliate marketing. Jose now is putting together events for teens here locally. So that's his local project that he got going on to help raise teen suicidal awareness. And I still keep going with the agency. He does the business consulting at the agency. I do everything that has to do with like marketing and funnels and things like that. And we has just been growing. And, you know, our first year with the Millionaire Mentoring, we made over $100,000, like cash, with no paid ads. Like, you know, most people see that and they're like, wow, like, how did you do that? Well, I invested into myself. I was super coachable. I took massive action. At that time, I didn't have any, like, I didn't have any other option. It was either that or I was going to be in the street. So I just like went all in on what I really believed could help people. And here we are today. And I know I kind of went on a like, rampage, but I gave you a summary of what has happened in the last 3 years. Okay.
Wow. That was the perfect timing of that whole summary. I bet the viewers are now just like, this is like a movie. Literally.
And I met you through that journey.
Yeah, I'm just so, I don't know what to say. I'm like in awe. Like, I didn't know I'd meet someone like you, and not only just you, but just the whole team. Everyone is just amazing. They have phenomenal stories from their background to where they are now. And
yeah, and everybody comes from all different places. They all come from different businesses. That's what I like too. You know, when I started network marketing, I was so brainwashed because I was told back then that it was just this and it was just this and that was just it. And over here with the Millionaire Mentoring Group, you have people from all different kinds of walks of life, many different businesses, teachers, realtors, network marketers, affiliate marketers. I mean, people from all kinds of businesses that they come together, they learn these strategies, they make money with it, and they also grow whatever it is that they got going on. So these skills are transferable in any areas of your life. I mean, even like when I go anywhere, it's so funny because when we go meet clients here in person, before we walk in the door, me and Jose look at each other. Remember, Black Ops skills. All right, let's go. And we go in and we just change their state of mind. We make them laugh. We do all that before we talk about business. Like, we do all that. We always leave from there high-fiving each other like, yeah, we did it. We used the Black Ops strategies. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. I took notes so I could hopefully summarize this underneath so people can just read more of your story. But just listening to your story and watching this whole interview is just gonna,
I hope it's inspiring to you that are watching this, because that is my goal. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to share this, I guess I'm going to kind of like wrap it up with this. When all this happened and, you know, we were almost homeless, we went 2 days without water, like I was not sharing that online. I was not sharing that with people. And Darren told me, you need to be vulnerable. Like, you need to share your story. And that's how you inspire people. And when I started doing that, more people would come to me because I was being honest. I was, you know, people would message me and be like, oh my God, I just got an eviction notice just like you. Oh my God, like, what can I do? You know, like people were relating to me because I was vulnerable. So I guess, you know, that's another tip. Be vulnerable, be you, share with people where you are right now. Okay. Because that is what people want. Like, people don't want to just talk to you and you're a millionaire already, and like they want to see like the journey. They want to see that you're real, right? That you're experiencing the same things that they're experiencing. So share and be vulnerable and share with people where you are right now and why you do what you do.
Yeah, and that also brings about that strong connection with you and your followers or your audiences when they like have something in common with you. It's just easier to have that conversation and to just be open.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we've had 6 minutes left. This is a perfect 1 hour. I would say it's a training on its own. Literally, a good package. This is a training. But I want to say thank you so much, Yhennifer, for sharing your story. It's been very insightful, and I believe a lot of people are gonna resonate from this. At the same time, I don't know, just feel so inspired, like, and surprised and shocked. Maybe even motivate them to just give back
take
to what
action,
you're doing, take action, and to just keep working hard no matter what. Say whatever situation. But before we wrap up, I'd love to have all my interviewees share like a closing comment or advice to the viewers out here who are watching your story from like the beginning till now. Like, what would you want to share with them?
My main thing, and I always tell, it's funny because I always get asked that question. What's that one thing, that last one thing you want to share with people? Is to take action, right? Like if you're watching this, there's a reason why you're watching this. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you landed on Mariana's page. Like you need to take action. And if you're still curious or maybe you have questions, ask. Don't just hold back. Ask questions, get involved. Find out more about it. Take action because you just don't know what your life is going to be a year from now if you just trust the process and take massive action. That's my ending note for the day.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Yhennifer. So you heard that, folks, from Yhennifer Mendes. She is also a marketing agent for Jay Shetty, now part of ClickFunnels, and she's also a co-author of this book coming out, which...
Yes, I'm so excited. Your $1 Million Story book. It actually comes out the first week of December. I'm so excited about that. It'll be on Amazon, so make sure you check it out. But yeah, it all came down to everything that I learned inside of Millionaire Mentoring. So there you have it, folks.
It starts with investing with yourselves, guys. So one thing I think I remembered from what you said is to not forget where you come from, but also not to forget where you're going. And I feel like that just sums up this whole interview. And I hope it's going to be inspiration to those who'll be watching this. Thank you so much, Yhennifer, for sharing your time with me. You're an amazing person. I cannot wait to meet you in person.
Yes, and give you a big hug.
A big one. All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye, everybody.